I'm gonna try not to make this one long, and I'm definitely gonna hit you with some bangers. Um, since since I've been on, since I've been on YouTube, I've been learned about the Quakers years ago about the Quakers, but we only getting half of the story of the Quakers. Nobody having really go in depth about the Quakers and who are the Quakers, right? I'm going to go into depth from a spiritual sense and the spirituality, and this is um, for your information and your guidance and the correct understanding who are the Quakers. And the Quakers don't get that much um, being recognized and don't get that much recognition of helping out the indigenous people, right? During a time of chaos and confusion. While the land was taken from us that we called America, the land was taken from us with force. We always fought for this land. We've been in this land, right? So we got to understand that the Quakers know exactly who we are, basically. The first people of civilization, the first people that was created um, in mankind, and knew that the West is a holy land over here, America, that we call America, which is a holy land, it's a blessing land, right? And it's an honorable land, this land right here. The trees, everything that's over here, the grass, this part of the earth is holy, holy, holy. And you have to understand that, okay? Um, they tell partial the stories of the Quakers during the Underground Railroad with Harriet Tubman. It was more than the Underground Railroad. These was built in pyramids. These are pyramids that was built. Do you understand that? There was pyramids that was built in the earth. Don't believe what these individuals are saying, okay? Don't believe what these individuals are saying. And the Quakers took an oath underneath the Alpha Omega, the creating everything in existence. They ancient ancestors, right? A portion of the people backdoor the Quakers. Some of the Quakers was dying off. Quakers had their family, they was dying off because they knew and understand that this was a big sin. And they didn't want no parts of destroying the first people in creation, which is the right hand of the Alpha Omega, the creating everything in existence. This is an actual true fact. The teachings that the Quakers got was from our ancient ancestors, right? This is an actual true fact. They uphold the agreement. Remember, if you go look inside some of our videos, I talked about upholding the oath. There was an oath underneath the Creator's eye, right? And I told you that every civilization has an ancient ancestor. Do you understand that? Then the ancestors never backdoor each other. It was the descendants. So being that the Quakers come from of this descendants, they knew and understand the assignment that was passed down through their bloodline, through the ancient ancestors. A portion of their civilization, right, backdoored the indigenous people of this earth and the Quakers. They backdoored both of them. And some of the Quakers was getting killed. This is an actual true fact. They're going to tell you that, oh no, the Quakers wasn't fighting, the Quakers wasn't doing anything. Yes, they was. Yes, they was. If you go into some of the histories and some of the books, there are some I don't like to use these terminology, whites and black, but I know and understand that these are the terminologies that needs to be understood during this modern day time. These terminologies are beneath all civilizations. We have a we have a magical and beautiful name to us. Our title, and who we are called the uply God right ones. That's who we are. We are called the uply God right ones. We are the descendants of the ancient ancestors. This is the actual true fact from Prophet Abraham, no, I'm sorry, Prophet Adam to Noah time. That's who we are. We come from this very bloodline right here, and we've been in the West. We've been here in the West. We actually taught the Quakers. We taught them. We taught them. And they took an oath to uphold this bloodline, this sacred bloodline. They took the oath under the watch and eyes of the Alpha Omega, the creating everything in existence. This is an actual true fact. This is hidden from our eyes, but it's not hidden from the spiritual eyes, which is surfing up now through me, right? And the reason why I'm bringing it up, I want to kill the noise, right, of those, both sides, blacks and whites, that is speaking hatred and racism. Do you understand? Speaking racist and hastening. At the time, both of these civilizations was working together. Do you understand? Once this entity came in and saw that, he had to backdoor. He backdoored a portion of their civilization and a portion of our civilization. Do you understand that? That's exactly what he did, and separated us. For fame, fortune, and riches, right? For fame, fortune, and riches, that's what he did. Backdoored us. This is an actual true fact, and most people don't talk about this because they want to continue on spreading imbalance and injustice amongst both of these civilizations. There's a portion of civilizations on both sides that preaches hatred and racism. It's an actual true fact. When it comes to the Alpha Omega, the creating everything in existence, right? When you are part of the uply God right one, right? There's balance and justice. He doesn't look at color. Color is only there to benefit the climate that we are in. That's what the color there is for. It's for to protect nature, so you can keep nature in balance. Do you understand that? This is why certain people have different colors, because they belong in different regions, in different civilizations, so they can protect that part of the earth and keep the earth balanced. This is a spiritual agreement. A spiritual agreement. It had nothing to do with color. Being that this entity did that based it on color, and then he kept procreating, and teaching portions of these descendants hatred, right? And they lost the teaching. That's what the war started against the indigenous people of this earth, especially over here in the West, that we call America. We've been here way before BC. This is an actual true fact. So, in scriptures, right, it teaches that the indigenous people, right, is actually the hand of the Alpha Omega, the creating and everything in existence. A portion of the teaching went to the Quakers, and the Quakers uphold the ancient ancestors. It was so bad that certain ones of their civilization and certain sets of their civilization backed on them and was killing them. This is an actual true fact, the Quakers. And I can't stress it enough to tell you the truth. See, the Quakers doesn't get that much recognition is because it's hatred and racism, right? That is spreaded on these major platforms, so you can forget the teachings of the ancient ancestors, and you forget the teachings and the agreement and the oath that the Quakers made with the Alpha Omega, to creating everything in existence. The ancestors was there. The ancient ancestors was there. Their civilization of ancient ancestors was there, right? And this is the actual true fact. And they made this oath with the Creator that they was going to uphold his teaching, uphold his balance, and uphold the earth and keep it just. Throughout the ages and time, they lost the agreement. But some of them still remember the oath, because the oath is in your blood. The oath is in your blood. These both civilizations uphold the oneness to the Alpha Omega, the creating everything in existence. And the Quakers, the way they paint pictures of them, this is lies. The Quakers, basically, they had robes and hoodies, like they had like how you want to say it? Like they had robes, holy men. They was holy and blessed, right? Because they uphold the oneness of the Alpha Omega, the creating everything in existence. The Underground Railroad was in the earth, navigate through the earth, which was built, right, by the Descendants, which is built by the ancient ancestors and the elders that kept this up, right? And the Quakers looked at Harriet Tubman as a messenger, and she was a messenger. Do you understand that? She was a messenger during the time, right, when she was needed the most. And they worship her. To this day, they still worship Harriet Tubman. To this day, not worship her like give her praise, you know? Not worship her like she's the Alpha Omega, but worship her, you know, respect and honor her, because she was more than what people think they is. They dumbed her down, right? And this is an actually messenger. She's a messenger from the Alpha Omega, the creating everything existing. Not a prophet, but a messenger. So the ancient ancestors, actually, they talk about Harriet Tubman in the scriptures. They talk about her in the scriptures. I should have brought the proof and showed you. They don't say her by name. They don't say her by name, right? But it describes her. They give a description and describe who she was. Basically, this is the actual true fact. I'm gonna make this part 1, and I'm gonna come with part 2, and I'm gonna bring that and show that you in scriptures it talks about a time where that it's going to be much chaos and confusion in these scriptures, and that there was going to be a one that come, and that was Harriet Tubman. You feel me? She was the Moses, she was the Jesus, she was the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. She was all these prophets and all these messages in one. This is an actual true fact. You know, the Creator sent her, and she guided any and everybody, and the Quakers was down with it too. They actually built the pyramids inside the earth. This is an actual true fact, man. And this is coming from spiritual guidance, spiritual knowledge, and spiritual information that you're not going to find in your text, you're not going to find in your books. You're not going to find it, because this is spiritual. And I need for you to understand this, brothers and sisters, kings and queens, ladies and gentlemen, all around the world. Harriet Tubman is a messenger. May the Creator bless her. This is an actual true fact. They don't recognize her as much, but we recognize her and understand her putting his work in, right? Her putting his work in. She was more than this freeing people. No, she she was a scientist, a chemist. She was a surgeon, heart surgeon, brain surgeon, right? She was all that in one. I am telling you this. I am telling you this. I am telling you this. Harriet Tubman. This is an actual true fact. And may the Creator bless her soul and her work. And the same thing with the Quakers. The Quakers descendants still exist right now. And they are still fighting, secretly fighting, right, for the descendants of this earth, which is us over here in the West. This is an actual true fact. And, you know, I'm gonna call them out. They gotta fulfill your oath. You gotta fulfill your oath, because this is time for you to fulfill your oath. The Quakers, this is time to fulfill your oath, the oath that you made with the Alpha Omega, the creating everything that existed, because all of this chaos and all of these things confusing, you'll have to speak up. You have to come out. I'm not saying you have to come out hiding. You know, you have to come out hiding. We are still here. The descendants are still here. And we remember the oath that we all made, right, underneath the eyes and watch of the Alpha Omega, the creating everything in existence, the Almighty. He has no partners. He has no mother. He has no father. He has no son. He doesn't sleep. He doesn't eat. He doesn't do any of these things. You know the Alpha Omega. You know it. We gave you the scriptures. You saw his power. You was right there. You was right there. And he blessed your ancient ancestors. Do you remember that? You know that. You know this. So don't allow those, right, of your descendants, right, destroy, right, the oath. Destroy the oath. Destroy the link. And the link is to what? To worship the Alpha Omega, to creating everything in existence. We cannot sit back and allow this devil, demon, demonic, evil, twisted, take the humankind to hell and darkness. Do you feel me? With disrespect and dishonor and disloyalty to the Alpha Omega. You have to uphold your oath. We have to take back the earth. We have to respect the earth before it's too late. You have to speak up. With all this chaos going on, all the killing and the murder, we are still here, the descendants. We are still here. Do we need to go back to the drawing board? No. Because this oath was taken years ago. Years ago. The elders uphold it. It's in your very bloodline. You know how it's in your very bloodline? When you see wrong and you speak up against it in your civilization. You cannot allow this to go on. We cannot allow this. Do you understand that? The Alpha Omega, the Creator, is looking at us. And I'm talking to the Quakers. I'm talking to the Quakers. The pictures that they paint of you, no. You had beds and everything. You had a bed and you dressed modest and was humble and you walked upon the earth. And you worship the Alpha Omega, the Creator and everything in existence. You uphold the oath. Uphold the oath. We all took the oath to share knowledge, wisdom, and understanding and keep balance and justice upon this earth. You seen what happened. They backdoored, killed people, killed the descendants off. It wasn't never supposed to be like that. It was never supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be justice and balance, and we have to uphold this. We have to uphold this oath before it's too late. So this is a big shout out to the Quakers. It's to bring a little bit of knowledge to my followers, to my subscribers, to my fans that's out there that probably didn't know about the Quakers, but a lot of people probably knew about the Quakers, but they didn't know. So I'm reminding you of the Quakers, and this is during the 1700s. This was during the 1700s. That's right, the Quakers, but we was already here, the 17, 16, 15, everything. We taught the Quakers how to worship the Alpha Omega, the creating everything existing. This is what I said, a portion of their civilization backdoored us and backdoored the Quakers. But the Quakers still secretly uphold their oath to the Creator, but they do it behind closed doors. So I'm telling you, you cannot be behind closed doors anymore. It's not about fame, fortune, and riches. This is not about land. It's not about your house. It's not about any of that. The same way that you sacrifice up against the wrong and the sins of the murder, death, kill of the right hand of the Alpha Omega, the creating everything in existence, and you spoke up about it, you must do it today. You must come out of hiding behind the shadows and speak up. Fulfill your oath. You have to fulfill your oath because you're going to be questioned about it. And your ancient ancestors going to look at you like, what happened? I mean, a portion of you're upholding your oath. I know you are because I see some of it. I can decipher it. I can still see it. You're still here. I understand that, but you gotta come out of closed doors and uphold the oath. Forget the fame, fortune, and riches. This land's supposed to be balanced. It's supposed to be balanced. You know this is a holy land and a blessed land over here. So let's keep this agreement going on. Thank you so much, y'all. Thank you so much. And I want to thank the Quakers. I want to thank any and everybody that during that time, harsh time, during that time where we was fighting it and fleeing, right, against being enslaved and indoctrinated, that you was there. You upheld the agreement, right? So we're going to stop spreading hatred and nonsense among civilization, right? Because you uphold your agreement, the Quakers. And the picture that they paint that you had a big hat on and all that's lies. That's lies. That's all lies. You have robes on with beards. It's an actual true fact. This is an actually true fact. Holy men, the Quakers, they're very, very holy and very religious and very righteous. This is an actual true fact, the portion. Yes, they was. Yes, they was. So we're going to give a big round of applause for the Quakers. Thank you so much. Yeah, Quakers. So step up. That's all I'm saying. Step up. It's time to step up and take back the earth. Because the Creator's not liking what's going on. That's all I'm saying. So this is a shout out to you to remind you of your oath. This is as true facts. You guys have an amazing, amazing evening. Be blessed and be humble. Peace, y'all. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace. Peace.